Hello, folks. Tony Morris here. Good to have you in the course. This 5-week quick session of flash fiction prose is going to go by quickly, but hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun and learn a few things along the way. And that's the general idea, right? So let me take a couple seconds, a minute, maybe two, and introduce myself. I came into the world of creative writing maybe through the back door, in the sense of I didn't plan on becoming a creative writer. I started college as a non-traditional student. I'd been working many years in other trades, working at factories. I was a tree climber. I at one point was a glazer, installing windows and such, all kinds of things. I got my head straightened out and decided maybe I needed to go to college and pick up some other skills so that I wouldn't necessarily be working in jobs that may not be advantageous to my health in the long run. So I started at a community college, and there I discovered writing. I started out as a journalist, though. I didn't really go into creative writing. It was something that I was kind of scared of approaching. I loved to read, but I hadn't ever been a writer when I was in high school. In fact, I didn't like to write. I thought it was torturous. and But as I got into college later on, I discovered a couple things. One was that writing really was just a way of putting thoughts down in an imaginative way that that could be entertaining. And two, I discovered computers. This is back in the early '90s, and part of my problem with writing was actually penmanship. I was horrible at penmanship and hated to write with a pen or a pencil. But I discovered the word processor, and that changed my entire view. I could edit and move text around, and it was just made it easier for me. So I started writing news articles and reporting, and as I went through my college career, majoring in English and minoring in journalism and communication, I discovered more and more skills for critical writing. I was writing a lot of critical papers for my English classes, and at the end of my senior year at UNC Charlotte, I went to a poetry reading, and as I sat there listening to the poets read their poems, I thought, well, this is not what I thought poetry was. It was more personal, had to do with contemporary life, and I really liked it. And I thought maybe I could do this. And I went home and wrote some poems and discovered that I had a knack for it. Since then, I've gone on to get my master's degree and my PhD at Florida State. I've published 4 books of poetry, and published in numerous journals, and published my first novel back in 2020, Deep River Blues. And I also publish nonfiction, essays and such. I have a Substack called Poetry, Politics, and Other Shenanigans. And yeah, it's my life, pretty much. Besides raising a family and taking care of the house and paying bills and doing all those other fun things that we do in life, traveling and having fun. Anyhow, I've been teaching here at Georgia Southern for 21 years, and I really enjoy working with creative writers and students beyond creative writing. I love literature. I love talking about literature. I think the key to becoming a great writer is becoming a great reader. One should immerse themselves in the art of reading, immerse themselves into the great works that are out there starting with Gilgamesh and the Iliad and Homer, and moving all the way up through the current contemporary works that are being published. I spent thousands of hours reading the masters before me because I wanted to know what greatness was. And I couldn't know that unless I had an idea, some concept of how to judge that. And in order to do that, I had to expose myself to a lot of great writing. So I strongly encourage you to do that yourselves this semester. So enough of that. I hope to get to know you guys over this semester a bit, and like I said, have some fun, but do some real good work that maybe you can get published at some point in your future. So this class is going to kind of delve into the craft of short stories and flash fiction. It's a genre that really demands precision and impact within a kind of a limited word count. We explore the fundamental elements of storytelling, such as crafting compelling hooks that immediately capture the reader's attention, building narrative tension through careful pacing and conflict, delivering satisfying resolutions that will leave a lasting impression on the reader. We'll also look into the nuances of character development and how to create vivid and memorable personalities within a very condensed narrative, and examine the importance of setting and atmosphere. And, that's where, this idea of the poetic voice comes in big time. Setting can make a story. And I know a lot of fiction writers who pay less attention to setting than they probably should to really make the story pop. So we're going to talk about that a bit too. It evokes kind of an atmosphere of sense and place and mood through the carefully chosen details and descriptive language. We're also going to kind of study how to illustrate complex concepts, employing examples and analogies and drawing parallels to familiar experiences or objects that aid in understanding. By the end of the course, students will have gained a comprehensive understanding of the techniques and strategies required to craft engaging and hopefully impactful micro stories that resonate with readers, leaving them with a profound appreciation for the power of concise yet compelling storytelling. So how's it going to work in the sense of as we move forward, what is each week going to look like? So what we'll be doing is reading out of two texts, one by John DeFresnay called Flash, the other by Dinty Moore called Flash Nonfiction. And so during each of the weeks, I will assign readings from each of these texts. And then once you've read the texts and studied them, then you'll be assigned one or two writing projects per week, depending on what's going on. Usually two assignments. The last fifth week, I think there's only one assignment. But so you'll see that assignment 1, Flash Fiction Prose assignment 1, Flash Fiction Prose assignment 2. And you'll also be required to participate in a weekly discussion prompt. So those are kind of 3 assignments you'll have pretty much every week. The discussion and the 2 flash fiction assignments. In addition to that, each week I want you to be keeping a writing journal. Writing journals are a valuable tool. Creative writers use them to create resources, develop ideas, invent storylines, listing observations, keeping track of various techniques and styles. So use the journal as your way to explore your own thoughts and critically engage in the material you work with in the semester. Do not use it as a diary. it's really kind of a self-study guide. And so it's a way for you to kind of reflect and grow in your writing by being thoughtful um, about the art of creative writing. Okay? Uh, so there'll be 3 entries per week. That's a total of 15 entries over the 5 weeks of the semester. Each entry's 150 words per entry, so just short entries. That's not even a full page double spaced. So as far as a minimum goes, but that's the minimum. All right, you're welcome to expand and put more than your minimum thoughts down. Um, so that's pretty much the outline of the course. And I one let me go back on the journals. One of the entries per week you must kind of address directly the course material that week. Um, and yeah, so that's it on the journals. So that's pretty much it. I really look forward to working with you again. If I can help in any way, you can email me at tmorris@georgiasouthern.edu, and I'll be happy to get back with you. I really don't take much. Uh, I don't. I don't really work on the weekends. I'll just put it that way. Okay. So, I mean, if you have questions over the weekend, you can send them in to me. If I'm available, I will get to them. If not, then you may have to wait till Monday before I answer your email. Um, Other than that, I think all the material's fairly self-explanatory. Um, so, have fun and enjoy the ride. Thank you very much.